Over the past year, I've made a lot of content revolving around the internet. Some of these videos actually being some of my favorite that I think I've made. So you can do whatever you want with it. You can fall asleep to it, do chores with it on, take a shit to it. Thank you guys so much for another amazing year. And with all that being said, here's why the internet sucks. Growing up with the internet. When I was younger, I would spend a pretty big amount of time on the internet, which did come with some positives and some negatives. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a pretty big flex too. Like, dude, I was the first generation of iPad kids. Which, if anything at all, it just says something about my below average IQ. But honestly, I'm kind of okay with that. I mean, I was really young when I first discovered what the internet was. Like, I was aware of the internet's existence before I was even able to fully tie my shoes. I don't like boasting about it because it makes me not only sound like a douchebag, but also a degenerate, but for my age, I was pretty knowledgeable about the internet. But it wasn't for a while until I myself started going online. My parents, thank goodness, did their best to not let me browse online for too long by myself, or really at all. I had very limited access to what I was allowed to do on the family computer. And at the time, I was really frustrated and angry that I wasn't allowed to browse freely on the internet for as long as I wanted. And for this point, I was around 8, 9, maybe 10 around here. So I was very limited with going on the computer. There were only certain sites I was allowed to go to, like YouTube, some game sites like Cool Math Games, Friv was another big one. So, you know, I really wasn't able to do much, which again, at the time was frustrating. But now that I'm all grown up, bro, I should have listened to them more. But eventually, when I was 10 years old, I won. I got a tablet, which then gave me unlimited access to the internet. Any information I wanted to get, any video I wanted to watch, any game I felt like playing, anything. It was literally all in my hands, at my fingertips, at the press of a button. All of this at the ripe age of 10. Honestly, I'm making it sound pretty overdramatic. It wasn't too bad. It was pretty cool, actually. One thing that I did when I first got unlimited internet access was I broadened the type of YouTubers that I would watch. So when I was younger, I used to only watch like Dan TDM, like Dennis Daily. Popular MMOs is another pretty big one, and I think he actually has been arrested. Family-friendly kitty shit. That's the type of stuff that I was watching. And that's really the only type of stuff I was allowed to watch, because whatever I watched would be blasted through either the TV speakers or from the computer speakers. And if I were to watch a YouTuber and they said something inappropriate like poop or even pee or fuck, dude, my parents would immediately rush into the room and turn off whatever I was watching, on top of already taking whatever internet privilege I had for the week. This could have easily been avoided by me just wearing a pair of headphones. I don't know why I didn't think of that. It would seem that during such an age, I was not an Einstein, a Galileo of sorts. But anyways, when I had a tablet, there was no more of that. I was able to watch YouTube in bed, on the couch, outside, on the toilet. I was able to watch whatever I wanted. So it was at this point that I started watching YouTubers that weren't as family friendly. So I guess creators like PewDiePie could be put in there. There was another smaller creator that you may know of. His intro would go something like, "Hello everybody, my name is Markiplier.
Welcome to Five Nights at Freddy's, an indie horror game that you guys suggested en masse, and I saw that
That was sort of a skit, but I feel like before I continue, I need to make it clear how much Markiplier shaped, you know, just the gaming community. Dude, not even just the gaming community, just like people as a whole. Watching his Five Nights at Freddy's videos was something I was always super excited to do. Sometimes when I edit, I still play it in the background on my TV. But yeah, shout out Markiplier. The cool ass dude. Eventually, I would discover more niche creators. I guess that would be the term. Some of these being the odd ones out, Jaded Animations, who were actually really big inspirations of mine. Same with people like Pyrocynical, Memulus. Does anyone remember Memulus? But then I unlocked a depth of YouTube. Something deep down below in the caverns of this website. I discovered Filthy Frank. By this point, I'm around 10, 11, maybe even 12 years old, and edgy humor was a really big thing on YouTube. But these guys, bro, they took it to a whole different level. It wasn't just Filthy Frank. There was Max Mofo, Anything for Views, iDubbbz, How To Basic. These guys were just Bro, they were like anomalies to the human species. It was insane the things that they would do. Gee, look at these three fine gentlemen. I feel like they make an amazing cake. Now, all of their content kind of differed. Filthy Frank would aim more for commentary style videos, while Max Mofo, he would do like Pokemon card openings, and dude, he still uploads them today. Anything for Views and Max Mofo, they both have like a collab show called Cold Ones, which I still watch currently. But dude, they were insane. Now, apart from YouTube, I have a mint in my mouth. Hold on, I need to spit these out. Bad idea. Don't try and record with stuff in your mouth. But something that I did end up doing was I started going on social media more often. So I finally made an account for a website that wasn't just something that an old man would use. I finally upgraded from Facebook. That was the only, I guess, social website that I would use, and it was mainly just to contact my grandparents who live in El Salvador. And the first website that I signed up for was Instagram. No, it was Snapchat. That was a lie. It was Snapchat. And I would use Snapchat literally just for the filters and to text like 2 people. I didn't understand streaks. I didn't understand like... dude, I didn't understand any of that. I was stupid. I didn't really ever understand why Snapchat was so popular. I mean, I guess the Bitmojis thing was popular. I was the type of kid that would make my Bitmoji bald. Yeah, that was pretty much it. All of my friends kept pestering me to get other social medias like Instagram, so eventually I did make an Instagram account, but not to post family pictures or like pictures of my hobbies. Dude, no, I would make an Instagram meme page. Don't go looking for it. It's one of those relics that are lost to time. I forgot the login information and I changed the name. I got other social media platforms like Reddit, where I would mainly just use it to find the answer to problems that I was having in my life. And it seems that no matter what, there was always that guy from like 15 years ago who seemed to have the exact same problem as me, no matter how my situation was. Shout out to those random Reddit people. I do think I could have probably been a little bit safer on social media or just the internet in general when I was younger. I saw quite a bit of stuff that I probably wasn't ready to see. Yeah, on second thought, scratch the probably. I definitely shouldn't have seen that stuff at that age. By the time I was 13, I had seen almost all the major shock sites. If you're old enough, it's one of those things that you know. Like, I saw the cup one, the jar one. Bro, I don't even know why I'm still talking about this. I'm done talking about that. In conclusion, having the internet at a young age can be a tool, but at the end of the day, it also can just be, dude, it can be a vessel just to see screwed up things, and it's not really something that you can avoid. The positives do far outweigh the negatives, in my opinion, though. I learned a bunch of new things, like how to play certain songs on guitar. I learned how to draw. I also just learned, you know, about YouTubers and things like that. But anyways, that's pretty much all I have to say. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope this gets posted on time because I'm currently in Toronto and not at home, so I had to post this from my phone. Thank you so much for watching. I love you all, and yeah, take care of yourself. Bye. I can be a woman, 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 woman. AI. Has anybody else noticed that over the past few years, AI is practically impossible to escape from on the internet? It cannot just be a me thing. I refuse to believe that. It seems that no matter what part of the internet you're browsing through, it always seems to follow you everywhere that you go. It somehow is always just constantly lurking in the background, lingering without you knowing. And it's being advertised as a new feature. You feel like watching YouTube? Well, the chances are that you've come across some AI-generated content.
Hi, Squidward!
August 12, 2036. Eat death of the universe.
You want to listen to Spotify? Well, there's now AI-generated music? Okay, maybe I'll just go to TikTok then. Guys, that was the right choice. I just won an iPhone 15 from Mr. Beast.
Watching this video, you're one of the 10,000 lucky people who'll get an iPhone 15 Pro for just $2.
And all I have to do is put in my social security number and my credit card information? That's right. While you plebeians are sitting at home. I'm here with a new iPhone 15. Why was I just charged $15,000 to a random Russian organization? You can find it on almost all social media platforms nowadays. 99% of them are all being able to do the exact same thing. For a quick example, let's look at X.com, the platform that was formerly known as Twitter, or it pretty much still is, because let's be honest, nobody on the face of this planet, nobody in the entirety of the Milky Way is saying, I'm currently scrolling through X.com. Literally nobody is saying that. And if you do, I'm sorry, it was just a joke. Twitter has released one of their newest features called Grok AI. Baby Grok? What? Elon Musk, of course, being Elon Musk, has kept this new addition to Twitter hidden behind a paywall where you need to have either an X Premium subscription or an X Premium Plus subscription. Both of these subscriptions will make literally anybody around you uncomfortable. If you say that you pay for it in front of somebody, 99% chance they're running away from you. Not because X Premium sounds like a subscription that your weird uncle probably pays for, but mostly because you're making this person aware that you use Twitter so much you need to pay for it. Anywho, I scrolled through online through internet's most trusted website forums ever, reddit.com, and looked for many reviews of this so-called Grok AI, and I never really found anything talking about it in a positive manner. Most people are just simply calling it okay. A lot of people actually said that if anything, it was outdated and you can get a much better service such as OpenAI's ChatGPT, which is significantly cheaper. In fact, it gives you a 5-finger discount. It's on the house. It's free. That's what I'm trying to say. It's free. As I mentioned earlier, it isn't just Twitter though, it's other social media platforms. Facebook and Instagram have their own integrated version of AI called Meta AI, creative name. Even Snapchat for some reason has an AI friend who I'm almost 100% sure is watching everything I do. I try my best to be nice to him so that when AI does take over the world, he remembers me and spares me. AI has even seeped into its way into other internet platforms like YouTube. AI's YouTube is actually kind of cool. If you join somebody's live stream, the AI will read what's going on and what's being said most in chat, and it will take that information and give you just a quick little summary of what's going on. But then you have Google AI, which is the complete opposite, one of the most popular ones being the cheese sticking to pizza response. Somebody searched up on Google's new AI how to prevent cheese from falling off of pizza, and the response that Google AI gives is saying to use glue. I don't think you need to be fucking Charles Darwin, cranium as well powered as Galileo to tell you never do this. That is horrible. It's probably toxic. I don't know. Now, apart from shitty responses from AI, it has also affected content. The type of content that you consume. A big example has been TikTok. There's tons of videos everywhere of people giving you a tutorial of how to make AI content, essentially just by stealing other people's content, like Joe Rogan's podcast. You screen record a segment of the video and then you put it through probably a shitty paid AI app, and then it gives you subtitles, it puts gameplay, and it does all the work for you, and you can easily generate a lot of money from doing practically nothing. It's the AI that is doing everything for them. I talked about this a couple videos ago, but content farms is something else that has gotten huge on YouTube lately. For a quick rundown, a content farm is basically something that YouTubers will do, certain YouTube channels. They will take content and they will mass produce it, sometimes posting up to 5 times a day. One of the most popular channels being LankyBox. LankyBox is a channel with over 38 million subscribers, and it has been doing this. It is what people would consider a content farm. It's what I consider a content farm. But one thing I will give my praises to is the fact that LankyBox does not use AI. At least it doesn't seem like it. LankyBox hires an actual team, has actual editors that do the work for them, and the two people, I don't know their names, the two main lanky boxers, that is them in the video. It is not AI generated. It is fully who they are. Or maybe not. Maybe they play it up.
You're riding on it?
A content creator who did the exact opposite is Kwebbelkop. Kwebbelkop is a YouTuber with over 15 million subscribers, yet he struggles to pull anything over 50,000 views per video. I have a pubic hair amount of subscribers compared to what he does, yet he is barely doing better than me. Kwebbelkop had gone under fire for deciding to turn his content into AI, where he had absolutely nothing to do with it. In the corner would be his AI avatar doing the commentary, saying everything he needs, and I'm not sure if he would edit it or he would throw it to a team and they would edit it with AI. Long story short, he would sit back and kick his feet up and just generate thousands of dollars from literally nothing, like actually doing nothing. I'm sure you've all seen those videos of AI voices in the background. You have the SpongeBob AI playing games with you. You also have those scary Reddit stories where they just grab a voice and put it in the background and put some Minecraft gameplay and boom, there's your video. And the people doing this are making lots of money. They are monetizing off of this, despite doing very minimal work. AI isn't just something that we can all sit back and laugh at. It's being used for nefarious reasons. Nefarious? What the fuck? For some pretty horrible reasons. One of them obviously being the Mr. Beast scam that I joked about earlier. Another thing that went viral is the disgusting thing that was being done with the Taylor Swift images. For the two people on planet Earth who don't know who Taylor Swift is, she's a very popular singer. I mean, she has billions of listens to her name. Anyways, some images went viral that were of her. These images were not okay. They were AI generated images. Somebody decided to put a prompt in onto an AI website and type this up, and the result ended up giving exactly what they wanted. And these went viral on Twitter. Everyone was talking about them. You absolutely need to agree that whether you like Taylor Swift or not, it doesn't matter. This is something that should not be allowed, and it shouldn't have even been an option to put as a prompt. This is such a disgusting thing to do. Unfortunately, this is something that's going on out of Twitter too. Earlier this year in Fairfax High School, located in Los Angeles, a student used these AI prompts to create inappropriate images. I really wish that I could say that this was a one-time instance, but unfortunately, it's not. If you go online, I promise you, you're going to be able to find many different news articles of this exact same scenario. It's disgusting these types of things are going on, and the scary thing is that it is so unbelievably easy to access. Like, bro, I could go on AI and search up Vegeta with his balls out, and I will get a picture. AI is being used for art too, and this is something that I have a big problem with. Drew Gooden made a video that I thought was fantastic, and it was the catalyst that made me actually want to put this video out here on this channel, despite it being very different. AI in art is ridiculous. I don't think it's something that should be a thing. A lot of people speculated that Megamind 2 was made using AI, and after watching it, I wouldn't be surprised. That was horrible. AI art is not the same as art. I don't consider it art. I consider art to be the product of something that a human being made. When you look at art, whether you like it or not, it doesn't matter. Somebody put time and effort into making that. Somebody spent hours thinking of what they can do with it, or how they can turn that blank canvas into something, how they can make it stand out. Music is a perfect example of this. Music is such a universally well-liked thing, but everybody has their own specific genres that they like to listen to. Me, I love rap music, I love old rock music, but I despise country music with my entire being. That being said, I can still understand and appreciate that a human being sat down and wrote those lyrics and played them on an instrument after taking hours and hours and hours of practice. With AI, you don't get that. With AI, it's something that is generated for you. All you need to do is type in a prompt. That is all that is needed. You aren't sitting back and you aren't doing the work. Thus, the reward isn't going to be as rewarding because you didn't do as much. The reason finishing a piece of art, whether that be a video or a song that you made or a drawing, the reason it's so rewarding is because of all the time and practice and will that you put into that piece of art. And you spent as much time as you needed to perfect it. And once it's done, you are the one that gets to sit back and admire it. Admire the fact that no AI generation helped you. You did that yourself. That's what I think is so beautiful. That's why I don't think AI is going to be anything positive in the art industry. I guess it could be used as a tool like, hey, shade this image for me. But even then, you know, it's not going to be the same. Unfortunately, AI does have a place on the internet, and it is going to affect us all in some way, shape, or form. For all you know, this entire video could be scripted by AI, but I'm telling you right now, it's not. That's why when you sit down and you finish watching a movie or you finish watching a video, it feels almost rewarding, unless if it's a movie like Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. That movie fucking sucks. But that's why when you finish something, you feel so rewarded, because there is a person somewhere behind a computer that spent all their time working on something. They spend hours writing, recording, editing, filming something, and put it out to the world, and we're able to see it. AI, it could be used positively, but I like it more as just a novelty, and that's how I think a lot of people feel. I could be totally wrong though. No matter what type of content you watch, there is a big chance that it was thankfully made by a human, and it wasn't AI generated. Things take time when it's made by somebody. Things take seconds when it's made by artificial intelligence. Don't worry, although that probably sounds like it was written by AI, it's not. I am a real person. Thank you guys so much for watching. Internet fan bases. With the internet being one of the world's biggest ways to connect with one another around the world, it can lead to people finding each other and sharing similar interests in a certain topic. Obviously, not everybody is going to see eye to eye, but that's okay, because everybody on the internet respects one's views, even if they contradict with their own. Hold on, give me a second, guys. Oh. So it turns out I was completely wrong. Let's redo this. Toxic fan bases. Toxic fan bases on the internet are nothing new. They've pretty much been around since the very beginning. Some of the most notable would be the following: Swifties, anime fans, Dream SMP stan, Five Nights at Freddy's. You get the idea. Anyways, I'm going to quit yapping, but first, I think it's important to find out what exactly defines a toxic fandom. Now, let me just get this out of the way. Every single fandom has the potential to become toxic, and in every fandom, there are a couple toxic bad eggs. There are just certain fandoms out there that have more toxicity than any others. But what are some traits of a toxic fandom? Well, one of them could be obsession. Obsession over a certain character, over a certain celebrity, and just, you know, knowing everything about it. Especially if it's a real person, it starts to become a little bit in a weirder area. You know, because this means that you've gone out of your way to research on this person's life and, you know, sometimes even their personal life. Swifties. Another example could be berating other fans for their opinions. This is very popular in anime fandoms, where if someone disagrees with a fanship or a fan theory, well, expect a Twitter DM in the next 24 hours just to remind you of where you live. That is something very common in some of these fandoms, is the use of Twitter. Twitter is the, X.com. I like to think Twitter of the Skid Row of the internet. It's there for everybody to go see, but I'm not really sure if you want to go see the type of people that lurk there. Lots Lots of arguments go on there, you know, doxing, threats, just like actual grown men and women acting like 7-year-olds. Now, upon a quick Google search, a toxic fandom could be described as a buzzword that has been used in recent years by journalists, news outlets, and others, such as myself, to identify popular culture fans who engage in behaviors that are considered negative and unacceptable. So, yeah. And to start it off, well, I think we're going to be talking about one of the most infamous fan bases on the internet: anime. Oh lord, where do I even start? Anime fans, there's some pretty weird ones out there. You know, I am indeed a good consumer of anime. I have a Crunchyroll subscription. Not too proud of it, but, you know, I do enjoy it. Or, for all of my fellow weebs, you might need subtitles for this one. Watashi wa anime ga daisuki desu. I hate myself. Now, it's no surprise that anime fans are pretty toxic online. Now, something that is very common in the anime fan base is shipping. Now, you may be asking yourself, what is shipping? Well, allow me to get you introduced, but buckle in. Shipping, derived from the word relationship, is the desire by followers of a fandom for two or more people, either real-life people or fictional characters, to be in a romantic or relationship. In short, fans all coming to the agreement that two characters should be together. Now, as you may have seen, it isn't just anime. It can be all different types of TV shows. But anime fans do it a little differently, you see. 99.9% of other fandoms typically ship two consenting adults. But anime fans, oh no. They like to do it with, well, the opposite. I am going to be tiptoeing around this. I don't think I need to explain why. There is an anime in specific by the name of No Game, No Life. Now, the fandom of this specific anime has sort of put together that two characters in specific are together. Sora being an 18-year-old boy, and he is together with, again, this is all in their minds, a character named Shiro, who just so happens, you know, to be 11 years old. That is a 7-year age gap. That is also extremely disturbing. There's tons of fan art for it, which just shouldn't be a thing. It's not just this anime, though. There's tons of others. I'll throw in another popular one that you may know, and one I've actually talked about in the past. We're gonna be visiting our good friend, My Hero Academia. Now, like I just said, I have actually talked about this anime in the past, but, there's a select few My Hero Academia fans who are some of the biggest degenerates out there. My Hero Academia is like really like, damn, dude. I don't sound the best in that. I apologize. There is a character by the name of Eerie and a character by the name of Overhaul. Eerie being a measly 6 years old, while Overhaul is, oh my god, 28. That's it. Nope. Swifties! Out of nowhere, it almost seems that Swifties have just blown up. I feel like this is a fairly new thing, but from what I've seen, these Swifties are very, like, stalkerish almost. Like, they seem to know everything about her, and when I say everything, I don't mean like, oh yeah, I know Taylor Swift's Met Gala costume. No, I mean, they know her pets' names, they know, like, her parents' background. It's so weird, dude. They're also very almost cultish. They're weirdly obsessed with Taylor Swift and almost worship her like she can do no wrong, which is just, that's not the best mentality to have. I myself am not really a big fan of her music. I think it's meh. But the way that I see some of these Swifties act, I almost start to think that she's the second coming of Christ. I mean, look at this video. Like, nah, I'm cool off that, dude. I definitely do want to make a full video about Swifties in the future, though. Minecraft. Oh god, I'm scared. The Minecraft fandom is notorious. I like to think that this is probably the most toxic fan base on the internet. Listen, I love Minecraft just as much as the next person. I cannot stand these fans for the life of me. Minecraft or SMP stans are known to be loose cannons on the internet. It's really weird because a lot of these people are adults. Like,
People that should have a job, but instead are spending a lot of their time on Twitter, doing absolutely nothing but meat riding these Minecraft YouTubers. A creator with the most notorious fans obviously being Dream. Now, how exactly do you spot a Dream or an SMP stan? Well, look for a profile picture of their face with like hearts around or like a PixArt edit or something. Or you could look at their replies and see multiple threats. They love to say that their favorite creator could never in the world do any wrong, and that they are perfect from inside and out, and that, oh, all the other haters are they're just cringe. Yeah, I'm not sure about that one. They like to cosplay as Dream on TikTok, which is a little weird. Again, a lot of them being full-grown adults, so it is a little weird.
And now, I think it's a good time that we find out what exactly did we figure out or learn, if we even did do anything productive. Fans are weird. That's about all we figured out. Some fans, though, not all of them.
I think it's also really important to point out that just because you're part of any of these fandoms doesn't mean that you're toxic.
You can be a fan of something and not be a complete weirdo. But there are people, again, as we've seen, that people take it too far.
Anyways, with all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching the video. I really do hope you guys enjoy. Check out this video on brainrot if you want. And before I head out to all of my lovely subscribers, brainrot. It's ruining Gen Alpha. Over the past few years, I've started to become aware of what type of content Gen Alpha is consuming. And I don't think I'm the only one. I think you have too. And it's just complete garbage. I mean, take a look at this. I can't let anybody know that I really like this stuff. You know, you have certain things seemingly blowing up out of nowhere. A perfect example of this would be Skibbity Toilet. I would go as far as to say it's other things like Family Guy clips or even Subway Surfers gameplay. I'm definitely going to touch on that later in the video though. I'm sorry for continuously yapping on, so without further ado, let's just get right into it. The first thing we're going to be talking about is the vocabulary that Gen Alpha is using. See, but you may be asking yourself what the difference between Gen Alpha and Gen Z vocabulary is. Well, I think it's important that we clear that up. The vocabulary that you often see Gen Z use on social media, typically in comment sections, is I guess what many people would call edgy. Bro, I hate using that word because it makes me sound like a leafy Let's Player playing Surf. What's up, guys? Today we're gonna be like, nah, bruh. Something you can expect when looking at Gen Z comment section is an insane amount of skull emojis and crying face emojis, and even the little prayer emojis too. I swear, if you use any of those, that's just a cheat code to instantly get like 10,000 likes on a comment. Seriously, I think there's more emojis in the comment sections than there are comments. Yo, wait, nah, that made so much more sense on script, but now that I'm saying it out loud, it doesn't really. No. Another thing that you can look forward to when scrolling through Gen Z comment sections, typically on TikTok or Instagram Reels, is really creative insults that make you go, wow, this is a really intelligent insult. How did such a young person come up with it? Well, that's probably because they haven't. Chances are you've seen these insults before. They were just copy and pasted from someone else's comment over and over and over again. That being said, stolen or not, some of these are so stupid. Like, sometimes there's gonna be a post of someone asking for advice and they just get flamed in the comments. But see, that's about as far as it goes for Gen Z. Sure, here and there you do definitely have some weirdos in the comment sections, but for the most part, it is pretty tame. But when you finally muster up the courage to look at the types of things that Gen Alpha is commenting, it's, well, the comments themselves are brain rot. A lot of the time, it's filled with kids pretending they know a lot more about something than they actually do, or just straight up pointing out the obvious. For example, on this SpongeBob AI channel, which I'm pretty sure a lot of you have at least heard of, they had an official brain rot test. And all of the comments are just statements. Nah, man, these SpongeBob AI voiceovers are bad. Plus, Minecraft obby gameplay is the real brain rot. The only reason I know this is because my entire class is brain rotted. But then you have my favorite comment of all, just admitting defeat. Yeah, I'm cooked. Now, when scrolling through Gen Alpha comment sections, you may be noticing a pattern of words that are used here, such as Riz, skibbity, sigma, gyat, and other things of that nature. They may not be in today's, Merriam-Webster thesauruses and dictionaries. The reason I am mentioning this is because, honestly, I don't think that any of these kids have any idea what they're even saying in these comment sections. A term I do see getting thrown around so much more than it should is edge. Now, for those of you who have more than a 25% fully developed brain and know the full meaning of this, I don't think it's any surprise that I'm obviously going to be very, very careful when covering this, and I'm going to be tiptoeing around it. So I'm going to avoid going in depth about it because, just because, yeah. But this is a term that is said so much along with other things like gyat. So I go and look at the definition of gyat, and I'm greeted with this sentence. Oh lord, there's so many different definitions.
A word that's used by most losers on social media, mostly TikTok and Twitch. Your homie's voluptuously large cheek.
Yeah, that's enough of that.
I think that gives you a general idea. The vocabulary that they are using is absolutely ridiculous, but where exactly do they learn these terms? Because it's definitely not their parents. So, well, yeah, just roll the next segment. Content. The content that Gen Alpha is watching is absolutely abysmal. You have things like Skibbity Toilet, Subway Surfers clips. You always need jingling keys in front of them in order to keep an attention span. Now, I have ADHD. Who doesn't? So my attention span isn't the best, and I will admit that I do sometimes need a little bit of stimulation to focus on something. But for me, watching Gen Alpha content, even that's way too overstimulating sometimes. In fact, sometimes I end up watching it and it almost gives me a headache just because it's just way too much. I will admit though, sometimes I do watch some videos and I end up catching myself getting sucked into the rabbit hole, and I do understand how that can be so impressionable on a young kid's mind. But don't take it from me. Take it from somebody who literally watched so much brain rot, their IQ dropped.
Brain rot. Now, I've watched a lot of brain rot. I would always have to watch it as I was scrolling through for video ideas, and I'd say it's had a pretty big effect on my brain. Whenever I've had to watch brain rot for a video, just scrolling through YouTube shorts, it just felt like I was in a whole nother dimension. Like I wasn't even on planet Earth anymore. I was sipping on that YouTube shorts because that's really what it felt like. In my said video that I made, I did a test where I would do the IQ test before I watched the brain rot and after. And the results were, 129 to 107. Now, I don't know how legitimate IQ tests online are, but that is a pretty significant difference. And I broke it into certain categories when I watched the brain rot. It was just Jack Doherty, Lanky Box, Sniper Wolf, just shitty Minecraft animations, Roblox story times with the Subway Surfers gameplay. And I was consumed by the rot for 4 hours. Like, my brain literally hurt after consuming all that. Now, I know Gen Z grew up with brain rot too, like Annoying Orange, MLG, but I don't know, Gen Alpha's got it worse. Like, obviously, there's some good people that do YouTube shorts out there. This wasn't a typical YouTube short that I watched. These were all just rot. Oh, and how could I forget? I watched Skibbity Toilet too. That one probably was the worst that I've watched. Especially like the first 20 or so episodes were horrible, where they just sung the same song over and over and over again until I started going crazy and insane and had to be booked into a mental hospital. Okay, it wasn't that bad. But after what I've all watched, I was dead. Now, it's a very specific type of short or TikTok or reel that is brain rot. Not everyone that does that type of content is inherently brain rot. But you're probably all wondering, how will you know? How do you know if you come across a brain rot video? You'll no longer hear coherent sentences. You'll no longer hear a person. You'll just hear random sounds and sound effects like yeah, it's just ass. But yeah, don't watch that content or else you won't even be able to read, you won't be able to write, listen, behave in school. You'll just be saying, iPad, need iPad.
Beautifully said. I couldn't have said it better myself. Now, all that being said, I'm not necessarily saying that the brain rot that me and the duck watched when we were younger was any bit better, because It wasn't, but I think we did significantly watch a lesser amount of it. And now when I was younger, I was particularly angry that I wasn't able to spend as much time on the internet as, for example, some of my friends were. But now that I'm older, yo, I'm so thankful my parents put restricted access for me, because I was raised by parents who actually cared and didn't, parent me by just giving me an iPad. Because even when I did go on the internet, I didn't really like what I would see a lot of the time. It's just filled with weirdos, more weirdos, and more weirdos. But now that we've looked at a lot of this, what did we gather? What have we concluded with? In conclusion, brain rot is awful. It's not good for anybody. It's fast, digestible garbage, poison for your brain. But at the same time, I'm able to realize that the brain rot that I grew up with was absolutely just as bad. It wasn't any better. I'm not any better than any of these kids watching brain rot. Hell, I watch those chicken nugget shorts all the time. I unironically find those entertaining. Anyways, with all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching the video. Go check out my good friend, The Duck. He's awesome. Check out one of my older videos about TikTok. Thank you so much for watching, and to all of my lovely subscribers. Gooning. The more time I spend on the internet as of late, the more things I start to learn, almost none of them being positive. And something I've recently learned about is gooning, as well as the people who tend to partake in such acts, Gooners. But in this video, we're going to be looking at these mythical creatures themselves. As scary as it may be, don't worry, we can do this. But first, I think it's important that we find out what exactly is gooning, as well as the mythical creatures who live far beyond our realm that we know as the Gooners. So gooning, what is it? Now, upon a search on the world's most reliable urban dictionary, I was stunned at how every single one of these definitions I cannot read, or it will pose a giant risk to this video. And I mean, some of these are really detailed. Like, look at this. Dude wrote an entire paragraph. So, this is the best one I can find, and it is still going to be heavily censored. I want you to fill in the blanks with your mind. Gooning is described as the act of a very addicted or chronic getting so into or that the dude becomes a total becomes stupid on his own, can think of nothing else but. The more I read that, the more brain cells I could physically feel disintegrating into nothingness. Do you see what I mean when I tell you that I can barely even speak about this? Now, in order to dumb it down a little bit, I'm going to give a bit of an example. Let me put my glasses on. This is Bernard.
Hello?
Bernard is what we in the human realm would describe as a gooner.
You certainly got that right.
Bernard here loves going on the internet. He has many different websites that he loves. Most of them have the letter X in it.
Keep going.
Bernard here loves to spend hours at a time locking himself in his bedroom, consuming. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Well, that was traumatic. Gooning is one of those words that have been given a newfound meaning on the internet. Now, believe it or not, goon was once a word that people would use to describe their friend group, for an example. Nowadays, you cannot say to somebody, yeah, I'm just hanging out with the goon squad. Yeah, bro, that you are instantly getting blocked. Now that we've learned, I think it would be a good time to look into the legends, the myths, the Gooners themselves. So they are entities which I don't think anybody wants to encounter in real life. There are many reasons as to why you probably don't. One of them being that they smell. Now everybody quiet down and take a moment. I just want you to close your eyes and picture the smelliest, mustiest, grimiest individual that you can possibly fathom in your mind. Whatever image just popped in your little noggin, bro, just scratch that off the list, because I can guarantee that these people are 10 times worse than that. Gooners are rarely seen in public. You would have a better chance finding $1 million, billion, trillion just sitting on the sidewalk than seeing one of these individuals just casually going on a walk. Better yet, you would have a better chance eating a pound of asparagus and not having to plug your nose on your next trip to the bathroom. But if you do ever find yourself coming across one of these cryptids in public, you will know by their smell. They smell like, Have you ever been in your grandparents' mildew-ridden haunted basement? That's the easiest I can get to describe to one of them. Now, these people will typically stay in a room in their house, or their parents' house rather, and they will call this place the Goon Cave. Bro, I know for a fact that these people definitely think they have some sort of Playboy Cardi aura by calling it something so mysterious. Bedroom? Oh, mother, it's the Goon Cave, so please refer to it as such. Like, I just got something itching in my gut telling me that they think they are Batman. Bro, it's not mysterious, it's not cool, it needs a cleanup. Now, after doing some research and looking into these peculiar people, and reading some urban legend type paragraphs about how bad their little goon caves are, and I got curious, so I decided to search them up and... like this. What even is this disgusting lair? I don't even think this is a basement in a house. I'm pretty sure this is a back room in a New York subway station. I mean, look, it literally has "Get Out" spray painted on the walls. I really don't even want to know what other type of things go on here. This is from Birdie's video, but I've seen it online too, and I just feel like I need to throw it in. This Reddit post. This is one of the most prepared people I've ever seen in my life.
Emergency kit I made just in case I need to immediately anywhere I am. Laptop, charger, pictures of tons of earphones, and 6 terabytes worth of my favorite.
Get as far away from me as possible. I think the fact that disturbs me most about it is that without even knowing it, you may have already encountered somebody like this. It could have just been the normal Joe Schmo that you sat beside on the subway. Or even worse, that post could have been from me and you would never know. It wasn't. Now, I think it's a good time to cover the other pursuits of said people. Giving away money. That's something they love to do. These people love to give money to streamers and content creators for the reason that I think deep down, these people hope that these female streamers will want them in the future. And I'm just here to tell you that's not going to happen in a million years. Female streamers, specifically on Twitch, get a lot of money from these people. There was an entire niche called hot tub streams, where these streamers would sit in a hot tub and just talk about nothing, just yap with chat, and they would get hundreds of thousands of dollars pouring in straight into their bank accounts. And where is it coming from? These individuals who sit down in their basement do nothing. Where are they getting this money from? I have no idea, because I'm 95% sure they don't have a job, but whatever income they get is just getting thrown to these streamers. I'm going to come out and say something that might be a little controversial. I don't have a problem with these streamers. If that's the thing that they want to do, they should have the freedom to do it. I mean, it doesn't affect me in any ways, but this is something that was going crazy on Twitch. And this all started around 3 years ago during the lockdown, because some people, or rather everybody, had literally nothing to do. So they would just be blowing their money on nothing. I think the mindsets that these degenerates have is horrible, because sometimes they do actually get angry when the streamer doesn't want to interact with them directly. They will donate 10 grand, and when the streamer then reveals that she doesn't want a relationship with the person donating, they will throw a fit and feel as if they are entitled to that, which is just completely wrong. I mean, it was your choice to give away all that money, and they end up throwing fits online complaining about said streamer, saying that it was all fraudulent and that said streamer is a liar. But I mean, dude, I have no idea what kind of fantasy you were building up in your mind.
Yeah, maybe if I give her enough money, she'll love me back.
Like, bro, Bernard, get back into reality, my friend. That's not how the real world works. You can also find these people on other websites. It isn't just Twitch. A very popular one is OF, which if you don't know what OF is, are you Patrick Star living under a rock? I mean, come on. But these people will pay for a subscription to... yeah. And some of these people will tip an insane amount of money. I mean, bro, they gotta be rich, because there's no way that they are just throwing away thousands of dollars just like change they found in their back pocket. Anyways, let's talk about what we learned today. what did we gather from this entire experience, I guess? Some of these people need to wake up, go outside, and realize that there is more to life than these activities. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you all infinitely. And to all of my